Hi, I'm Richard. I'm back again. I'm going to show you something here. I don't know if any of you like sockeye salmon, but I want you to take a look at this. This is like wild caught. It is the most beautiful piece of salmon you're ever going to see in your life. And what I'm going to do is just take it out. Oh geez, I need to spice it, so give me a second here. And all I'm doing is I'm only going to spice this with pepper. Okay. Now I've got some sea salt here too I can use. Hold on, let me get it. Be right back. Be right back. Where is it? It's way back here. Okay, I got it. I mean, I can use regular salt for this, but I'm going to put some sea salt on this. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at that. That's good. All right. That's good. And then what I'm going to do, oh, I got to get a fork. Hold on. No fork in there. All right. Forks are all dirtier at this point because I use so many of them. So I'm going to just take this and I'm going to, oh, and I use some butter and oil, okay? And I'm going to turn on the, now you hear a lot of noise in the background. That's going to be the exhaust. All right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the lid on there because, you know, I love salmon, but salmon has this real smell that'll go through your house, and it just stays there, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of a lot of that. I'm going to get rid of any smoke because, as we know from other videos, smoke has carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, many more carcinogens, and breathing them into your lungs creates pulmonary disease, cardiovascular disease, cancer. And if you saw this on the other video, you know, millions of people die every year just from breathing that into their lungs, in their homes. And tens of thousands, tens of millions, by the way, develop pulmonary diseases such as asthma and allergies. All right, so, and we know kids especially are affected because their respiratory system may not be able to handle it. Nobody knows why. The doctors go, oh, I don't know, I don't really understand it. Well, here it is. It's because of this. It's because of cooking smoke on here. Now, all the documentation to this is on my website. You can look at it. You can. It's the National Institute of Health, which is our government, the U.S. government, explaining it. I've got other governments in there talking about what's going on in their countries and how people are suffering from this. I think there's going to be a wake-up call here at some point where we're going to say, you know, we can't have this any longer. We can't have people breathing this into their, you know, into their lungs. So, but anyway, here you are right now. You are on your cooktop. You're cooking. You've got smoke filling your kitchen, floating through your home. So what do? Well, you've got two choices. You can change your range hood, which is the big contraption above your stove, and because they only exhaust maybe 45 to 70% of all the smoke that's out there. All right. And actually, what happened is once I learned about the dangers of cooking smoke, I thought about putting a range in, put it in my home, and I spoke to 4 or 5 different companies, and it turned out that, you know, it cost me about between $4,000 and $5,000 to do it. But here's the kicker. I asked each one of these companies, if I put your range hood in my home, is it going to remove the cooking smoke in my home? You could hear a pin drop when I said that. And some of these salespeople looked at me like I was being unreasonable. All right? Bottom line was, I wasn't going to make that investment without any kind of guarantee. I recently had my heating and air conditioning system done in my home, and I got all the guarantees in the world, but it doesn't work that way with the range hood industry. You buy it, it's yours. Good luck. Okay. So that's where the range hood come in. For a fraction of the cost, I can exhaust all this smoke out of my home. Now I use some really low level. I mean, if I was cooking a steak or hamburger at this point, you would see the smoke billowing. You can look at the other ones that I did. All of that would just be billowing it, you know, out of there. Okay? So you can either change the range hood. You can think about getting something like this. The other thing is this. There's a second feature to this. Not only taking the smoke out, but the fact that we're not allowing that smoke to drift through your house, into your living room, dining room, bedrooms. And once it lands on your furniture and your fabrics and your windows, it turns to grease. That's what smoke is, grease. That's the bottom line. It's just grease. So you can, you know, and grease has odor to it, unpleasant odor. You might not smell it, but when people come into your home, I think a lot of them smell it. They know the difference. Okay? Now I'm going to talk about one more feature. First thing I'm going to do is this. I'm going to turn this baby. Okay? And normally what I do, well, let me push it over here. I'm going to turn that like that. And just turn that heat down even more because I am retaining so much heat inside of this thing that you don't need to cook it at high heat. I've only cooked it at medium temperature heat. Now I'm even turning it down to low heat. So it's all cooking. You can probably hear it kind of crunching away inside of there. But I want to tell you about the second feature, the third feature. Second feature is, again, you're not going to have it drift through your house, landing on your furniture, your fabric, and then turning to grease, and then grease has that odor. The third feature now is this, and I just want to say this. This is like a 180-degree different feature than getting the smoke out. Getting the smoke out is absolutely the most important aspect of what this does. But the third feature is this. Whether you're cooking a steak or you're cooking hamburger or you're cooking a piece of fish like I am right now, you are going to cook the most incredibly delicious piece of meat or seafood that you've ever tasted. Now, I'm not just going to say that and leave it there. I'm going to show you why that happens here. All right? And what I'm going to do is, oh, by the way, take a look at that. And you can lift this and still get all the smoke to drift down into this system. And by the way, this only removes about 20% of the smoke in my kitchen. If I had a range hood, it would only remove somewhere between 40 and 70% of the smoke in my kitchen. The rest of that smoke is drifting through my house. I'm breathing it into my lungs. Not what you want to do. All right? So I just want to kind of point that out. Take a look at this once again. Look at that. Oh my God, is that beautiful? Now, what I'm going to do is this. I'm just going to wait another second here because I actually have a formula for everything that you cook. If you're cooking an 1.5-inch steak, hey, 4 minutes on one side, 5 minutes on the other. It's seared, it's juicy and tender inside, and it's delectable to eat, which means it has great texture. Okay? It's not going to be any different here with a piece of fish. So let me do this. I'm going to turn that off. I'm just going to move this to over here where there's nothing burning on there, but I want to just let it exhaust all of its smoke, you know, that's going out of there. And what I want to just tell you is this. If you got smoke in your house, do something about it. All right? If you think getting a range hood is the right thing to do or changing it out, do it. If you think moving out of your small apartment where it just fills with smoke so quickly, do it. If you think the smoke deflector here is the right answer for you, do it. But don't do nothing, okay? Let me do this now. I think this is cooked. What I'm going to do now, there's no smoke coming out. You can hear I turn that off. Take a look at this piece of fish here. Okay? Now, here's the thing. You can pick this up where you're actually leaving the skin in the pan on there. Let me do that. Now I need to go get a knife and fork, a clean one. I've been kind of going rogue here, and I need to get these dishes done, but I just want you to kind of take a look at this here. Okay? I mean, it is so moist, because the third feature that I didn't really discuss is this. You are going to be able to create, whether you're cooking a hamburger, a steak, a piece of fish, any other piece of seafood, you're going to be able to create the most extraordinarily delicious piece of meat or seafood that you've ever tasted in your life. Okay? And I'm going to, before I even eat this, I'm going to just show you how that happens. Okay? I want you to take a look at the underside of this lid. Now, you see this lip here? And you see this lip here? Well, here's what happens. The smoke goes around that and out the front and into your exhaust system. And by the way, if you have an overhead exhaust system, you just point this to the back of it like this, and all the smoke goes out, drifts up. And even if you have a poorly functioning exhaust system, all that smoke is going to leave your kitchen. It's not going to be filling your kitchen and into your lungs. All right? But here's the other thing I want to point out. If you look at this, you're going to see like a lot of moisture on here. And so what happens is this. Smoke can go horizontally, but moisture goes up and down. So we're blocking it in, we're locking it in. And then it drips back down on top of your meat or your fish, and it just keeps all the moisture, we're locking all that moisture inside. So for an example, if I was cooking a hamburger, one with the lid on, and I had a pan over here with the lid off, well, guess what? When I'm cooking that hamburger, all that moisture is just rising, it's going away, And if I'm not careful, that hamburger is going to dry out. It's just not, it's going to get hard. It's not going to taste well. I could leave that hamburger in here for another 5 minutes beyond the well done stage. And guess what? When I take it out and you look at it, and I'll probably end up doing a video on that, it is going to be so juicy on the inside. It's going to be seared on the outside, juicy, and just tender. Okay, which is the way that you want to, you want to eat it. All right. So let me just go ahead. I want to just taste a quick look at it, but you can tell this is juicy. Okay, there's a little bone there, but that's okay. Oh, just a little salt and pepper that I put on there makes this absolutely delicious. This is sockeye salmon, wild caught. It's, it's delicious, okay? Now, I want to leave you with a couple ideas here, some parting thoughts. If you have children in the family, it only takes one that has a respiratory system that might be really sensitive to cooking smoke. And they could get allergies, they could get asthma, which is no fun for anyone. But that doesn't last for a week or a month. That lasts for their entire lifetime. You need to think about that. Also, if you have elderly people, living in the home, they don't have the immune system of an 18-year-old. And how horrible it is that somebody in their later years ends up with some type of pulmonary disease. I know for me personally, the quality of life is like the most important thing for me. All right. So, and yeah, one other thing. In the last couple of years, we've learned one thing. If you have some type of health issue, whether it's diabetes, cardiovascular, high blood pressure, and somehow you contact another issue, your immune system's going to have a really hard time dealing with that. So, look, if you got smoke in your home, do something. If you think getting another range hood is important, do it. If you think moving out of your apartment where it fills up with smoke so quickly, or your townhouse, just get out of there. If you think that this smoke deflector is the answer for you, okay? It's only a fraction of the cost of putting in a whole new exhaust system. Then do it, all right? But do something, okay? Don't do nothing until the government tells you, hey, you need to do something. All right. Final words on this is, if you got, buy one for yourself. If you think, you have family and people you care about and love about, get them one, especially if you know anybody that has any type of lung disease or anything like that. This is the most heartfelt gift you can give them. All right. So anyway, I'm going to go back. I need to eat this before it gets cold. And all I have to say is I hope this was helpful to you, and stay healthy.